What if I told you that everything you think makes you feel good is actually a lie? A delusion you've been telling yourself your whole life. Think about this. You've been sitting for hours on a long bus ride. Your back aches, you're stiff, you can't wait to get up. Finally, the bus stops, you get out, and you start walking. Ah, that feels so good, right? A huge relief. But here's a crazy question. If walking feels so good, why do you ever stop? Why don't you just keep walking forever? It's against human nature to stop doing something that feels good, isn't it? The truth is, walking doesn't inherently feel good. You're not gaining pleasure. You're simply relieving the pain and suffering from the previous position, which was sitting. You've just traded one form of suffering for another, because eventually walking too will become painful and you'll need to sit down again. This is a core concept that many of us miss. We're constantly chasing comfort and pleasure, thinking we're moving toward happiness. But what if we're just running from pain? This constant cycle of sitting, standing, walking, lying down, it's happening all day, every day. It's a fundamental suffering that's so ingrained in our existence, we don't even see it. We perceive changing our posture as gaining pleasure, but that's a delusion driven by desire. The right understanding is that you change your posture out of necessity to relieve the suffering of the previous one. This small shift in mindset is huge. It changes your motivation from greed and desire to simple necessity. One path is an endless cycle of chasing temporary relief, while the other leads to a deeper understanding of the nature of our reality. It's like someone trying to describe the taste of a lemon to a person who never had one. They can use all the words in the world, sour, tangy, citrusy, but you will never truly know the experience until you taste it for yourself. Spiritual truth is the same way. It's not something you can just be told. It has to be experienced directly. This is a fundamental fact, not a belief system that needs updating every few years. It's a truth that has remained unchanged for thousands of years because it's about the basic mechanics of life itself. So the next time you stretch your legs after sitting for a long time, ask yourself, am I gaining pleasure or just escaping pain?
Suffering. What is it? Most people, when asked about life suffering, they always thought of the remote thing like, not have enough of this and that. Disappointment in not getting what they want. Or getting something they hate. Or lose someone they love, or getting sick. Getting fired, rejected, etc. But they don't see the sufferings that keep happening all the time in their daily existence. The abilities to be able to manage or get those suffering under control elude them of seeing the real suffering. This suffering basic is one of the most important concepts in Buddhism teachings that most people rarely mention. It's just relaying the truth about our being humans' perception that caused most of us to mistakenly feel or thought about pleasure or comfort or fun. Nong Bead recap it here again, essentially whenever we change our posture from one position to the next. Like after we've been sitting for a long time that we start to feel ache and pain, we instinctively move without any thought towards a new posture. Every time someone sees us start to show some uneasiness while we're in any position, stand, sit, walk, or lie down, they probably suggest us changing our position so we can feel better or more comfortable, etc. That line of thought is so ingrained into our subconscious that we churn out as automatic response when we feel or see someone show any sign of stress. And when we're in that new posture, we tell ourselves or feel that this better, more relaxing, more pleasant. And the key here are the feeling of better or relaxing or pleasant, etc. That's what delude us into the belief that this change of posture make us feel good. Hence the follow-up question would be, if it's felt so good, why after a while do you want to change that good, that better, that pleasant posture again? It doesn't make any sense, does it? If it doesn't make sense, then what is? What sounds sensical and logically correct is that we change our posture because, drum roll please, We unconsciously wanted to relieve ourselves of the current posture pain we're experiencing. In other words, we change out posture because we want to get rid of the current pain that we're having. Therefore, the right or correct mindset should be we change our posture to eliminate pain, not to gain pleasure. But this line of true thought of feeling somehow is obscured by the temporary comfort we gain after we're in the new position. Therefore, most people don't realize that they're deluding themselves, thus they don't understand the basics about life and living in general. That human as a type of animal, we are constantly getting rid of the pain all the time. All day long, no break, even when we sleep, we have to constantly shift our position or posture every now and then to get rid of the ache and pain, and this process is ongoing from birth to death. So the correct thought or mindset is that we change our position to eliminate pain. Not for pleasure. Some of you might ask, so what if I feel good after I shifted in my seat? The bigger picture is that this line of correct or appropriate mindset bring us to see living as it's supposed to be, that there are constant pain and suffering most of the time. So what again is the question? To that Nong Bede reply. It's not just shifting or changing your postures, it's everything that has to do with what a live animal type of being have to go through in life: eating, sleeping, toileting, bathing, washing, cleaning, etc. We do all these to get rid of the upcoming or current pain we're experiencing. Take eating for example. Most people enjoy eating because they feel better after eating something when they're hungry. They never thought for a moment that they eat because they have to. Otherwise they will starve to death, and Nong Bede don't think they like that. If you don't believe Nong Bede, just ask any Zionist to imagine themselves as victims of a genocidal maniac apartheid regime, who wanted to starve them to death to see if they'd like that. The taste and pleasure of the food, again, obscure the true purpose of eating, and that's to alleviate the hunger and to stay alive. So when they are hungry, they don't ask why they need to eat, but instead they ask what to eat. You may continue to ask, so what? If I ask what to eat, what's the big deal? The deal isn't big. And that's the problem. In fact, the deal is so small, so tiny that you can't see or notice it. Like the comfort from shifting posture, it's so subtle that most people miss the real truth. And eating is also the same. Which brings Nong Bede to the crucial point of the differences between asking what to eat and why to eat. What to eat stems from the seeking of pleasure stance, which is based on greed, desire, want, all the good stuff we're all let ourselves accustomed to. While why to eat would remind that person of the necessity of food and eating not for pleasure but for survival. It's a must-do thing for human and animal to survive, and not something to do for fun or pleasure. Before you ask another so what question, wait. Let Nong Bede finish. When you do thing because of its necessity, there's no way for greed or need or want or desire to sneak into your purpose. Therefore you're not driven by those lusty feelings and thoughts. Let's that sink in for a moment. This is a very important concept to grasp again. Nong Bede repeat. Ready. When you do thing because of its necessity, there's no way for greed or need or want or desire to sneak into your purpose. Therefore you're not driven by those lusty feelings and thoughts. Nong Bede, hope you've got it the second time. Now let's continue. But if you don't see the benefit of reducing one's lust or greed or desire, which are the causes of all the past world problems like war, hunger, genocide, massacre, slavery, etc., resulting in human suffering throughout our history and even until now in this modern internet age, then I think you're listening to the wrong program, and should go on your merry way of being one of the crowd as you comfortably belong. If you're still not sure or don't get it why, you should be aware of your constant need to get rid of this suffering. To illustrate this point and the importance of the awareness of why we do what we do. And we should only do what are necessary, not for fun or pleasure or by such motive as greed, desire, or lust, etc. Nong Bede always use the example of the paraplegic patient who can't move or do anything by themselves and needs some caretaker to tend to them from time to time all day and night long. If you imagine that you're such a patient, it'd be easier for you to grab what Nong Bede is trying to tell you here. You can watch a complete, more extensive program on the link below. Once you put yourself as one of the paraplegic patient, you could see life suffering so clearly, like you watching it in 8K. That it's so vivid that you probably mumble to yourself that wow or WTF. These are the real sufferings that I've been overlooking and taking them for granted and all my life. Up to this point, Nong Bede probably covers all your so what questions. Now comes the application, which you might ask, what do I do with this type of realization to the subtlety of suffering that permeate throughout our existence? For that, Nong Bede moved to the next topic, which is the result of this awareness in practical usage, which is to question most everything we're going to do or say. Whether we do them because we wanted to, out of our desire or anger or greed, or out of necessity we should or have to do them to get rid of the stress or ache or pain at the moment. Again, by keep asking ourselves these why, we block any ulterior negative motives like lust, greed, jealousy, anger, envy, etc., to sneak into our purpose or intend to do that. Once we know why we do it, then we can choose to do it out of necessity or because we still cling to that entertainment or illusion of want to be happy for a while, even though it's not life essentials. But at least we know why. We are trying to rid ourselves of those negative intents, but some of them are hard to abandon now. With this awareness, the more we keep practicing this line of why questioning, we'll be able to get rid of those negative vibes one day. If not in this lifetime, maybe in the next one or two, if you're diligent enough and so lucky that you come back as another human being again. This insight is the base of the Lord Buddha teachings. You might be familiar with the notion that all Buddhism focus is on suffering or a very pessimistic view of life or the world in general. But once you understand this subtlety from Lord Buddha's insight, you probably can see why life is full of suffering now a bit. Yes? No? Maybe? If you're still enjoying the thrill of getting these and those to fulfill your bottomless pit of desire and need like most people in the world are, then go on and keep on doing what you feel or think is best for you. Since in order to realize this subtle and counterintuitive facts about life sufferings and put them into practical daily usage is very hard and extremely difficult to do and practice, since it's against what you're accustomed to all your life. Who in the right mind would question every move or actions they are making, like why I wanted to go to the bathroom, or why I have to brush my teeth, or why I have to eat, or why I have to sit, or why I have to sleep, etc. But if you're one of those who are sick of the greed or lust or desire that keep dragging you through life, not because you didn't getting what you wanted or heartbroken or lost something or someone you've loved, but you see the danger of this delusion and wanted to reorient yourself towards the life with less need, less want, less greed, then this might be the path for you to take. So, what would it be? Nong Bede Game Boy. December 20th, 2025, 1816. P.S. About the AI clip in the beginning was made in CapCut. From one of the scene of Nong Bede original movie script which would never be made, Nong Bede think. Nong Bede is looking for an AI to turn movie script into an AI movie. But so far haven't found one yet, probably have to wait another 6 months or a year. In that scene it's the dialogue of two friends in a Thai restaurant discussing about afterlife experiences. But CapCut AI interpret part of that script into what you've seen in the beginning, which is totally not what Nong Bede intended, but somehow usable in this program, so thank CapCut for this marvelous tool. Until the day AI getting rid of all human civilization. Cheers.